How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Loose Cannons. Bright and early. It's a Sunday. It's normally drops on a Monday, but Man City game is out the way. Arsenal game is out the way, more importantly. So we are here to talk now, people. Who else is there to wait for but the special guest, obviously? Before then, big up Jordan, big up James, always in the building. And today's special guest in the building, we've got Marvyn Harrison, the Marvyn Harrison podcast. Go
Come on, brother.
Thank you. I'm good, man. I'm really good. My voice is very, very fragile, man. So I'm pushing through. I had a good one yesterday. I had a great time.
Oh, the game was shouting about.
No, I was at the game, man. I had the unique privilege of being right where Max DOWMAN was celebrating in that moment. I was like four rows back, and that whole section was so chaotic. I think I lost most of it in the last 4 minutes. So yeah, great game, man.
a moment of history. A moment of history. Before we get into all of that, I mean, big up you, though. You doing your thing. Obviously, you got your podcast and you got your socials and whatnot. But let them know a bit about what you do and how you've come about doing it.
Yeah, like I've been talking football specifically. I was on the kickoff for a period of time, really enjoyed myself. I've known Brian for many years. I've worked with creators for many years. But beyond that, I have a platform called Dope Black Dads, which is a male parenting platform. We've been doing loads of stuff. I broadcast on Channel 5 on Good Morning Britain regularly, usually in the mornings. Actually, this early, trying to create wisdom and narrate social challenges. So my background is like sociologies, like social challenges. And then for me, football is just a passion. So usually my perspectives kind of intertwine between the two worlds. But yeah, I'm really good to be here. I'm really happy to be here, man.
Good to have you here, bro.
Trust me. Makes sense. It's a good one to be on as well. I'm not going to lie to you, brother. We're slowly but surely getting there. Even Jordan's smiling, nodding.
Yes, man. Yes, man. I'm happy. I'm happy, Turkish. Not many times this year I've been happy, but I'm happy, man. Arsenal...
Can you narrate your happiness for me? Because I feel like what specifically, where have you come from to where this moment is like, I'm happy?
Marvyn, grab a cup of tea, mate. Seriously.
Yeah, the bar was low.
He's come from the depths of criticism. He is
not naming certain players' names to where we are now.
Yeah, it's true. And the irony is, I'm so happy. That might be our worst performance of the season.
No, I'm going to push back. I'm going to push back on this. I disagree with that massively.
Well, Jay, you know what's funny? So it's funny you're going to push back because I think it's one of our worst performances of the season, right? It was a horrible watch for like most of the game. But I won't name him, but he's been on our podcast in recent weeks and he was at the game as well. And I was like, listen, we won the game, so I don't care. But it was crap. We were rubbish. Yada, yada. I was just ranting, right? And he was like, you're in the minority, bro, because I was hanging around after the game. And the general consensus was that actually we played really well. And I'm like, we watched two different games because for the first time, I'm actually on the school of thought, guys, that I don't care. We just won the game. And you know me, performances matter. So for the first time, I'm like, I don't care about any of that. This was a just win because I knew City would drop points. Just win. And even when I have that mantra, people are still telling me they played well. I'm like, we didn't play well, but it doesn't matter. So James, go. Why am I wrong? Why am I wrong?
I think rather than framing it from me as like Arsenal were really good, I think Everton were brilliant. Like I honestly, I'll get out of the way early. I know we've got bigger things to talk about, like Max DOWMAN, the limbs, City dropping points. There's a lot of good stuff to touch in on. Listen, you could tell, you can hear my throat, you can hear my voice. I went mad. I was there as well. And what did I tell you guys? When I go to the Emirates, it is never easy. It is pure stress. But so I'll keep it short. If they were wearing red and white stripes and their manager was called Diego Simeone, we would have thought we played brilliantly and that we came up against a really stubborn, difficult side. I thought Everton were genuinely brilliant. They pressed really high. Then if we did beat that first line, they regressed into a mid-block, a 5 that we just couldn't get through. And then when we did get past that, they got even deeper. We didn't want to go long because we had Kai Havertz, who's good in the air, but I think we were trying to play through to him, as you saw with the penalty we should have had. One of the few times we did play through the lines quite well. And I think the boys just had to try absolutely everything, but they were so stubborn and difficult to break down. So it's not that I think we were scintillating and brilliant. I mean, we overcooked and undercooked a few passes. There were moments of frustration for sure. And look, I don't think many players played brilliantly. I mean, obviously DOWMAN. I thought Eze had a really good game, to be fair, was trying everything. Yeah, see, that one divided opinion as well, Jordan. I thought he was really good. But they had to find a way. And this really was the definition for me of finding a way. But I thought we deserved it. I thought we just about asked enough questions. And yeah, I thought we were good. I was impressed that they overcame it, as opposed to sort of looking at the reasons why we struggled. I just thought, fair play, you've crossed a big hurdle there, because Everton are a very good team. You're on mute.
Mark, what do you think? You were there. Like, I mean, am I? James has always kind of put it quite well there. Maybe I'm framing it as I'm framing it the wrong way. Everton were very good. Everton, they were good, right? They made it very hard for us. And sometimes you just got to remember that there's another team on the pitch. So as much as you want to critique your team, sometimes you have to just remember that there's another team trying to stop you, right? I have issues with our performances and things we did, but am I being a little bit unfair? And maybe because the three of you two and the guy I'm talking about, were there. Maybe being there, you see things differently than you do on TV.
Yeah, what's really interesting is I think a TV watch, a stadium watch, but also where in the stadium you watch it changes what you're seeing. So in the first half, I was heavily critical of Madueke, and he didn't want to go out on the outside at all. And I was quite frustrated by that. And I thought that Arteta made some mistakes in terms of personnel, which, by the way, we should validate James's point around Everton. They did play really well, very organized and structured, a very Moisey performance, right? So that was my feedback. And then my friend somehow was walking around the stadium at half time, and he was like, yo, and I was talking to him, he was like, no, Madueke is dangerous, you know, every time he was going for it. And I was like, I know I was far, but I saw. And so I think the perspectives always change from TV to stadium and where you are in the positioning. I thought Arsenal played well. I think they held the ball. The percentage was like 62%, which I know isn't everything, but we held the ball really well. I think we had injuries that changed how we were set up and required some movement. I'm really glad Mosquera exists. For me, Ben White, I love Ben White, and I think it's more personal to love Ben White. But I look at Mosquera and I think his recovery when he's running back towards goal is exceptional. The pressure he was putting on whenever anything didn't go right, I thought really saved us at points. But I just think overall, in terms of how we set up for Everton, was incorrect. The pieces were in the wrong places. Madueke should have been on the right. Saka should have been in the middle the whole time. I think we do need to focus on where is Saka most effective in games. It will not always be on the right, holding that position. At times, he needs to move and be effective in different ways. And I think it's impacting his overall impact and the perception of him in games. So I think our personnel was more at fault than how good Everton was, which again is probably a similar perception to James, but slightly different focal point.
Well, I think I agree. A mix. I think Calafiori is a big reason why we're talking about this game the way we're talking about this game. That goal goes in, and that was pretty early on. What, first 10, 15, 20 minutes max? I think then we're talking about the performance a bit differently. But then it was resolute. It was against a good team, but it was one of those ones where I guess it's about just getting the job done. It didn't leave much to the imagination. I slept for the last 10 minutes of the first half into the first 10 or 15 minutes into the second half. So I missed chunks of that in the mid part of the game. So pardon me, guys. I didn't do a Jordan. I fell asleep. What can I do? Blame Mikel. But that Calafiori moment, I have to highlight that, because that block, one of the best blocks I've seen from a defender at Arsenal anyway. Mate,
it might be one of the greatest blocks ever, and I'm not even joking. Who has the audacity and the insanity to be lying face down on the floor like you're on a sunbed and just sort of scorpion kick your two back feet into the air like that and make clean contact? He didn't just like take a bit off the ball. He bounced it back the way it came. I've never seen anything like it in my life. Not only the execution, but you've got to be mental to attempt it.
I think if we think about Gabriel's block I think it was last week or the week before, where it basically hit him in his neck, right?
Yeah.
And it's showing a resilience in defending that I haven't seen in a very long time, where it's like all bodies to the floor. And it makes me incredibly happy to know that we have 6 defenders who are fundamentally as consistent in their desire to die for the team. And I just think it's something that we've missed before. And it's so comforting to know that layer is there.
Yeah, 100%.
Go on.
The Nkapie tackle at 1-0 up, man, the Emirates went nuts. Because what I loved about it was often, that late in the game, a player just wants to get to the ball, just get there and hold them off. And he went, "No, I'm coming for you." And he just cleaned him out. But the fans went mad. Go on, Jordan. Like we have so much to cover. Like there's so many little things I don't want to go unnoticed. Like Gyökeres winning at the near post for the DOWMAN goal, and just like there's just so many little things. So, Jordan, where do you want to take the convo first?
Listen, all right. So I'm so happy. It's so good for me. One, because I got the predicted score right, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Ain't changed the table much.
No, I'm doing the Wolves. I'm doing the Wolves. Yeah, I'm gone, but I'm fighting. You know what I mean? Listen, I could talk about the fact that I think it was another half wasted, but I won't. First half was wasted for me. I could talk about the fact that Saliba 4 or 5 times gave the ball away in the opposition half that I didn't like, to my point about him being overrated on the ball. I liked the intention, but the execution was poor. I could talk about the fact that Madueke, as Marvin said, I don't think we've got to allow this left on the left-hand side now. It's just not, he's not comfortable there, and it does him a disservice. Let's put that in the bin. That can't happen again. We could chat about Raya's couple of brilliant saves in the game. We could chat about Saka being quiet, but still, Eze for me was meh. But I want to talk about this Turkish.
Oh my days.
Let me tell you why I'm going to give him credit.
No, that's the ugliest Gyökeres mark I've ever seen in my life.
We're getting sued. Victor's lawyers are going to be on the phone today. Marv, sorry about this, brother.
No, he looks more like one of those aliens.
Bro. It's a relax.
He looks more like Bane. He actually looks more like Bane.
How do you do it? Oh,
you got to relax the fingers, man. They shouldn't be sticking out. They got to relax.
There you go.
Anyway, I've done it once.
Have you seen Stranger Things? You look like a Demogorgon. You know those, like, do you know what? Just if you know, you know. Oh my word.
Anyway, so I'm rusty. I don't do it very often. So anyway, I'm gonna give the Glock. Shut up, James. I'm gonna give the Glock credit because the goal that he scored, right? People will say, "Oh, he's in the middle. What's the big deal, right?" But one of my big frustrations was people were telling me that they like the fact that he makes channel runs. He makes channel runs, and I'm like, no, I don't want him making channel runs. He's not good at it. He gets the ball and he looks like a builder in Timberland boots, right? And I know in sporting you can do that, cut in, beat 2 players and top bins it. You can't in this league, you can't do that. I want him where he scored that goal. I want him in the 6-yard box where the tap-ins happen. That's where you get your 10, 15 goals. In and around, that's where I want him. And for him to be there, to just tap it in, is really, really, really big for me because that's what I want. Now we're going to chat about Max DOWMAN in a little bit. We'll give him all the flowers and love and time that he deserves. And I know the cross came from him, Pickford messed up, blah, blah, blah. But if that first goal is not scored, I don't know if we're scoring. I don't know if we're scoring, guys. So that first goal is so important. And I'm going to give him credit because he didn't do anything particularly great when he came on. But just the mere fact that game is so important. It was such a big win, boys. In the context of what City didn't do in not winning, us winning that led on to what Max did. It was such a big goal. So I'm going to give the Glock credit because he was where I want him to be. Where the ball drops for centre forwards more times than not, tapping it in. That's where I want you to be. So I've been hard on him all season. I'm still not all in on him. I don't particularly rate him like everyone else does. But I'm a fair man. I'm a fair man. He came on and he got the goal that was important. Max will get the credit in the headlines, and rightfully so. But he got the goal being in the right place at the right time. He got the goal that really matters. that goal matters. And it will get forgotten about because of Max DOWMAN, but I don't want to forget it. I want to give him credit for once because, yeah, he was where I want him to be.
I thought he had a good game though as well. Though I thought like there was some nice hold up. We were able to go over the top a little bit more, not massively. Like, I don't think he came on and set the world alight, but you know, I mentioned earlier that the winning the ball at the near post, you know, leads to Martinelli, which then leads to DOWMAN. But it's little things like that. You know, that's his role. His role is when that ball comes in, make sure you clear it. There was one time we went down the channel and he just had to roll it to Max DOWMAN and he overhit the pass. That was a bit frustrating. But am I the only one who thought Gyökeres had a generally good cameo? Like I thought he made a difference. Genuinely,
it was decent. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Needed the goal to cap it all off, as all strikers do. But he was neat. It was like the first half the other day, where the first 20, 25 minutes, he was neater than we're used to seeing him this season.
He was a problem, wasn't he? Like you could just see that the Everton defenders suddenly had to engage him differently. I thought Kai Havertz actually had quite a good game. I liked the way him and Eze almost played as 2-10s. They were both floating out wide and getting different areas. I thought Eze was able to benefit off playing more off the left because of Havertz starting. But with Gyökeres, suddenly the focal point was really central and really direct. Yeah, I don't think it massively changed our fortunes or how we played. But it's just a different option. It's just a different flavour. And you ask different questions.
I still don't think that Gyökeres has a good relationship on the pitch, which speaks to what he's really good at. And that player knowing where he's going to be and what he wants and how he wants to receive the ball, and that happening consistency. I still think about the goal from outside the box he scored against Tottenham and the speed in which Timber got it into his feet, and watching him finish reminded me that that's even possible because we just don't see him getting the ball 2 feet that quickly. I think the running on behind is a big deal for him because a big problem for him because his inability to hold the ball up and be really impactful in tight spaces makes him look clunkier than he just is. I think he just needs it in and around that box and have to make a decision really quick. I think finishing wise, he's better than he is in terms of holding up quite significantly.
Agree.
Yeah, I tend to agree. That's his 11th Premier League goal this season. So he's not going to hit the 20, but it looks like we're going to hit the jackpot with the Premier League. So I guess every goal counts a bit more when you're en route to greatness. James, what was you going to say?
It's not a bad return, you know. It's not bad.
I mean, it is.
I don't know if I didn't expect 20 league goals. Now someone's gonna clip me up saying that I did, but I don't think I did. I think I was happy with 20 in all comps. So what's he on in all comps? He must be on 15,
16, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
For me, it was never about the number. Like it was never about the number for me. It was about, I don't know if you guys remember, I was saying I want a striker that makes the difference, scores the goals, it wasn't for me about 15, 20 goals. It was, if you only score 15 goals all season, but there are 15 goals that, again, funnily enough, 2 goals against Everton he scored. Last year, Everton we drew with, I think, at home, 0-0. Right? Fulham, we drew with last season. West Ham, a couple of years, we've had a better. I wanted a striker that could just get the goals in those games where it was tight and we weren't playing particularly great. It wasn't for me about the number. That's why I wanted Isak, because I think Isak is so incisive and he's so clinical in those tight games. I trust him to kind of nick a goal. Do you know what I mean? So for me, it was never, I didn't really care about 15, 20, 25 goals. It was, is this guy the guy that can score the goals that make the difference? In those tight games, can you be the difference? So I wasn't really bothered about the number. It was just those types of games where we haven't got a killer. That's why I praised him today, because that Everton game yesterday, that was a 0-0. That was a 0-0. But he's come on and okay, it was DOWMAN made the cross and a mistake from Pickford, but it's him that's got that first goal in a game that, for me, yeah, that was heading towards a goalless draw.
Well, Jordan, to be fair and consistent, and to what you were saying, you did say that you wanted him to get more goals when it was kind of 0-0. We needed a winner. He's done that. He scored 2 against Tottenham, one of them at 1-1. I'm just looking now: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think he's got 6 in his last 8 league games. It's not bad. Sorry, Marvyn.
In the running, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Goals now when we need our striker and our attackers to really be the difference makers. Sorry, go on, Marvyn.
No, I was just saying it's really difficult when your visual memory recall is of Thierry Henry, Bergkamp, Van Persie, Alexis Sanchez being in those positions and creating moments out of nothing, which are clearly indicators that they are world-class forwards, right? And it's really difficult to celebrate someone who just doesn't look aesthetically in the same way and isn't necessarily still lighting it up on fire. I think for me, 20 goals in all competitions I would have been happy with, but I'm now saying that more so in reflection, looking at how the league has gone. I genuinely think this has been the most competitive Premier League season that I've seen that I can remember. It looks tough everywhere. There is no. I think even Wolves at the bottom, still looking like, oh wait, there's a team there and being difficult to beat at times. And then even for us not being able to blow any teams away, I think this is the least amount of 4-goal-plus wins that we've seen in the Premier League. It's just tough everywhere. And the evolution of the Premier League and the quality of the mid-table teams, the level of money being able to buy really high quality players at a really good level has just meant the league has squeezed a bit. So I'm looking at it in that context. 20 goals in all competitions is success. I would like him to have a full preseason. I would like to have more options around him. I think our whole left side could be gone. I wouldn't be mad at our left attack side being gone. And I think he needs pieces around him that see him, that want to get him the ball and is excited by that and builds a relationship. So I think next season I'll be more focused on what the assessment is in terms of his long-term success at Arsenal.
Yeah. Biggest goal in an Arsenal shirt, though. I think, even though he scored the deadlock breaker against Tottenham, I think this one, that one felt like it was coming. This one, I'm not gonna lie, lads, it didn't feel like it was coming in the 85th minute, 86th minute, 87th minute. I don't know. Did you not feel the same at the game? How did it feel? Because James, you're saying that
that's a 0-0.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I think I was praising Pickford a couple of weeks ago for the save he made at Newcastle, right? That's probably the save of the season, right? And there's been lots of talk this week I've noticed about Pickford being like, why is no big club coming for Pickford? That's why. Because in moments where he gets bored, he does that. That's why a big club won't sign Pickford. So I agree, that was heading for a 0-0 if it wasn't for it. That's a Pickford error. That goal was come because Pickford's messed up. Let's have it right. That was heading for a 0-0. We was not scoring, guys. We weren't. We was not going to score. Pickford messes up, and then we capitalize on it. But yeah, just for those that kind of always talk, why is Pickford not a big club? That's why, because he can make insane saves as he did at St James's Park a couple of weeks ago. But then he does that. He does have that in his locker. He gets bored and he gets involved in things. Like, if I'm an Everton fan, I'm raging. I'm raging. What are you doing?
I think him and Martinez are akin, and it's like they are great goalkeepers, but there's moments where you're like, that was really avoidable, and it will cost you points. I think you know why Manchester United didn't want to close in on Martinez in the summer is probably akin to why they've looked at Pickford and thought, you're England's number one, but there's something in you that's error prone. I still think that he's better than half the goalkeepers that are in the top 8 teams. I think he could easily still make a step up, but yeah, he would need to iron that out. But for me, that's coaching. That's being surrounded in an environment where you trust your defense a bit more and you don't have to do those things. I think he's an interesting character, but yeah, those errors were his errors. And the fact that he went up for that goal to get an equalizer created the cushion overall. Like, you know, these are the decisions that ultimately have meant that his team have lost 2-0.
On the flip side, I think Raya deserves a mention again. I mean, it's not one of those games he had an outstanding save to make, but it's one that he had kept us ticking along, in my opinion. And when you see the state of the league, state of football, how Pickford gets beaten, how Donnarumma gets beaten, and you think of Raya's profile, one of the things early on we said about him was he knows how to command his box Raya well. You know, for a keeper his height, his profile, he doesn't get targeted as much as you would think, and especially this season when every keepers and defensive units targeted in set pieces. I can't really remember a mistake from Raya that comes from one of those, aside from the confusion with Gabriel moments. those, a couple of them with him there. But aside from that, Raya's been all season.
Listen to what you said. What you just said there, Turkish. You started by saying he didn't do anything spectacular or amazing, but I think it's the kind of bread and butter saves that aren't spectacular that make him probably now the best keeper in the league. It is a debate with him, Alisson. I think Alisson's on the decline. His injuries are killing him. Donnarumma, we've seen he's got errors in him as well. But that save with his leg, that's a brilliant save. It doesn't look spectacular. It won't make a show reel. That's I thought it was on the camera angle. You guys were there, but on the camera angle, it's in. I'm like, that's gone. Oh no, he saved it. It's a brilliant save, but it's not. He's made better and more spectacular saves that will make a show reel. But it's those bread and butter saves that just keep you ticking over. That for me make him a world-class goalkeeper. Do you know what I mean? And that's the difference between him and maybe Pickford. They can both make insane saves, but it's those bread and butter saves in the interim that just keep you in the game. Because if we go 1-0 down, do we win that game?
Can I just ask you, that is the hairy moments that Raya creates, right? Is that boredom or is that bravery, like an error through bravery? Because there's moments where he's just overplaying as a goalkeeper and the crowd is getting really sensitive to the fact that he's not just clearing it. You're not clearing the lines. He's like still trying to play a little bit. Is that boredom? Because I know when we had Aaron Ramsdale and he played that interview and talked about his neurodivergence, his ADHD, he got absolutely torn to bits because he was like, I struggled to concentrate, right? Which is a reflection that many of us probably on a human level feel like, wow, that's actually a beautiful thing to say. But in football performance terms, it was like, nah. So do you think for Raya it's boredom or is it just bravery gone wrong?
I think bravery gone wrong.
I think Arsenal, the second half of the season, I've mentioned this before, we lost our fear factor in terms of the attack. When you have a keeper like David Raya, you play possession football, it goes hand in hand, right? But when you struggle to pin the opposition back and still maintain possession football, you're going to get caught out more as the first line of that possession football. Do you get what I'm saying? Because you haven't got that fear factor. You're not pinning them back. So the high press has become more prevalent we're playing against in the second half of the season, which has cost Ryan more and our defense more. So Mendy's had a couple of those as well. But I think in a much more well-oiled machine in terms of this football, I don't think he's exposed to as many moments to make those mistakes on the ball. So I think it's easy to say boredom, but I don't think it's that. I just think that the amount of times we've faced a high press in the second half of the season and the opposition have got more joy in terms of getting shots on. Remember, first half of the season, there was a fear factor in terms of we can't even get a shot off against them. I think that plays a part too. And like I said, Raya's the first line of everything. So he's going to bear the brunt of it. But overall, I don't think he's, I don't look at him like Ramsdale where it's, that's a moment he wasn't really focusing. It's more just get your head in the game kind of moment. Like the Gabriel mistakes for me. And when they come back, those are the ones I worry about a bit more than the playing out of the back ones or the sticky situation ones with Raya.
Just while we're on this, Marvin, we've discussed before like our top 3 players of the year so far for Arsenal. Who would you rank as your top 3 Arsenal players this year?
3 Zubimendi, 2 Rice, 1 Gabriel.
Interesting.
I think Timber the last couple of weeks has been a bit off. I think he's been overplayed. But for me, Zubimendi has made a massive difference, which is crazy because when the other guy was in that position, we ain't gonna name him. When the other guy was in that position, I didn't see a massive problem until I saw Zubimendi play that like on a regular basis, and I'm like, he really ensures that we retain possession and we rotate. I wish he would like to be a bit braver, and he did a few more passes through the lines, but 6 goals, like almost ever present, exceptional first season.
Interesting.
It's a good list. Okay, right, let's talk about Max Dowman. We've done really well for 29 minutes to talk about everything but Max Dowman. Who wants to kick it off?
You go, James.
Well, I've lost my voice. I'm like, one of, if not the greatest moment of the Emirates era. And I'm selfishly saying it is the greatest moment because I was there, but I mean, I'm sure there are others. I think the reason it's got the chance of being that is because there's a real serious chance. It means something as much as the Danny Welbeck goal, the Declan Rice goals, the Arshavin goal against Barcelona, all these great moments. We'll kind of never forget them. I think Turkish said it when Declan Rice scored those free kicks against Real Madrid. You want to look back on them and know what it led to. And Max Dowman might have just come on and won us the title. You know, he might well have done that, because with City playing at West Ham, you know, I felt, and I said it to Sharoy, that if they were to slip up there after we beat Everton, for me, it's one hand on the title. I just think we're now in that territory of a lot has to go wrong. Like a lot has to. We're talking 4 games swing need to go City's way for where we are already, with the amount of games still to go, which puts us in such a commanding position. So Max Dowman comes on, turn 2 before Gabby Jesus, for example, you know, brought on in the 75th minute. And I want to say something. It's going to sound like I'm trying too hard, but I'd love to know if you agree or, you know what you all think. The goal he scored at the end was unbelievable. I was about to say but. Let me find a different way of saying it. I knew Max Dowman was capable of doing that from the performances we've seen. You know, his ability to glide through players. What's extraordinary is that he did it so late in the game with the header, the touch, gliding in field, the way he goes past people so effortlessly. I mean, he's an unbelievable talent. I don't know if I've ever seen one like it at Arsenal. And to do it on that stage, in that moment, in that context is incredible. I love the ball into the box for the first goal as well. And the reason I love the ball into the box is because in all the cameos, and you know what, he's 16, but let's judge him like a first teamer for a second. I actually don't think he's shown a lot in terms of ball striking. And I mentioned this a week ago, Jordan, do you remember on the podcast? When you look at Yamal, he was 16 at the Euros, you know, scoring goals in a semi-final from distance, striking that ball really well. That goal that went viral a week ago, again, striking that ball really, really well. He's shown that a few times. And I didn't know whether Dowman had that. Now, a bit earlier in the game yesterday, we actually worked the ball nicely. It's rolled to him, and he kind of scuffs an effort. It kind of goes quite high and wide. And we didn't want to say it because it was just incredible. He was 15 and playing. But he actually had a few efforts like that against Leeds when he came on earlier in the season and pre-season. He had actually shown that he could really purely and truly strike football. Now, if you watch him in the academy, you'd probably say, James, shut up. He can. We've seen it. You know, he's just give him a chance. He's 15 for God's sakes, and that's fair enough. But what I loved about the cross was he took it on his left foot, he set himself, and he whipped in an unbelievable ball with great pace, great loft. I probably had the best view in the house of that cross because I'm high up along the goal line on the side where he was. So I had him like in front of me, a good view. It is a Jordan Pickford error, but honestly, guys, that is such a difficult ball to deal with. If he doesn't come out Pickford, it's a free header at goal. So he's just got to do something, but he's lofted it with such pace and such finesse on the ball. And to see Max Dowman pull that off as well, I thought was really, really encouraging, because if he can start to feel himself just when it comes to getting that ball into the box and in front of goal, then yeah, we've got a scary, scary, scary talent. But I just think it was, you know, Arteta said it right. You know, we'll all remember where we were when Max Dowman scored that goal. I think it is a moment we are going to look back on in 20 years' time.
Can't contain magic, man. You need magic. And that's why I said a couple of weeks ago, I said, we're probably going to have to rely on him somewhere down the line this season. He's going to have an opportunity for a big moment. I didn't think he'll come this quick, but now it's come this quick. I mean, when we need something off the bench moving forward, a lot of us are going to be suggesting Dowman a lot more because he just brings something different. And credit to Arteta on this as well, because in years gone by, whether it was Ranieri last year, people have questioned how much he likes youth, how much he can work well with youth. I think it's not a question with Dowman because Dowman's football speaks for itself. You know, what he does out there leaves no questions, you know, post-match. When you get a chance to play the guy, you play the guy. When you need something, you play the guy. Even though he's 16 and it's everything I said in the summer in Hong Kong about don't rely on him. we're at that stage now where it's inevitable because he is so good. He is so different to the attackers we have. And I don't just mean technical quality. I also mean just the freedom and confidence he exudes on the ball. I just don't think any of our other attackers have that. Now, whether that's because they are more experienced and obviously have held on to pain a bit more over these years and are not tainted by that pain or the robotic style of football. I don't know what it is, but DOWMAN, forget the fact he's 16, he is just completely different to any other attacker we have, at our disposal right now. So I think it's going to be the first of many. What I liked about the run is, in my match reaction, I mentioned Martinelli scored a couple of those, right? He gets into space, but both times Martinelli scored it, it's been quite clunky in the dribble. There was no clunkiness to DOWMAN's dribble. Who was it? McNeil? McNeil thought this guy is a left-footed guy. That's all he knows. He's going on his left. DOWMAN said, nah, I'm good with my right as well. Just cut straight in on his right, completely bamboozles him. The little caca head around the defender as well, just before that. That was class from one side to the other, class. Like the way he just did 2-man and just, and big up Martinelli as well, played his part, ran across the defender.
Yeah, you saw that bit. You saw that.
I think it might have taken Max DOWMAN out. Them last minute, you don't want that. So he just runs across. So credit to him there. But I knew DOWMAN was going to have his moment, man, because this season has been crying out for a bit of magic in attack. And we've played so many different, frees. We've played Havertz, Gyökeres, Jesus, Saka, Madueke, Trossard. We've tried it all. Eze here, left to 10. We've tried it all. And no one's really stood out in a magic sense. But DOWMAN, for me, it's going to be the first of many. I mentioned the rogue, maybe international call-up in March. Foden ain't playing good. Palmer ain't playing good. Saka ain't playing good. Eze ain't playing good. Rodgers ain't playing good. Name me an attacking midfielder from England that is playing good right now. Now, I don't want it to happen because every player that goes England, they come back, the media are onto them. Oh, my God, they're a disgrace, flop. They let their country down. That's been going on since 98. Funnily enough, 98. That is the England kit from 98 with the jumper. But so I'd prefer not for that to happen. Walcott's a prime example. He went and then everything ridiculed. He didn't get a minute. Oh, my God, is he the guy and whatnot? But I do think that he's headed down that path. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens because he's just got something about him that English players in general, across the history of football, don't naturally possess that type of natural talent. I think we can talk about Rooney, for example, naturally technically gifted. Maybe Glenn Hoddle. We can talk about naturally Gascoigne, naturally it doesn't necessarily, it's not an English trait for great players. It's been few and far between. It's more so passion that comes through with the England side, more so than technical ability. DOWMAN just looks like, I don't know, he looks a bit European. Do you get what I'm saying? He looks, that doesn't feel English, but he's well and truly English. So, yeah, I think the next few weeks are going to be interesting.
Marvyn, there's an elephant in the room I've got to address, but before I do that, you give your thoughts on DOWMAN first.
I think every time. So, firstly, when I go back to the early in the season when we played Liverpool, and he came on, I think it was, and Kirkes was giving him a really tough time, and he was just like wading into him, tough tackles, never gave him an inch, and then they stopped giving him the ball very quickly afterwards. They kept him going back to the other side. And then he got injured. And I actually was worried. And I feel like the Premier League is a really tough league to integrate into from a physical point of view when you're young, because I think almost there's like an Englishness of we're going to give you a couple of tough tackles still. The kind of Vinnie Jones mentality still exists within the league somehow, what we're going to show you. And referees are not protecting young players, our players, attacking players at all, right? So I was worried to see him come back, and specifically against Mansfield, which I know are a lower opposition. But I when I was watching that game, I was like, they're here to make a point, right? They were coming in hard, physical, they were running hard, and he looks so elegant. And it shows what Eze isn't doing. It shows what Saka can't do. I know Saka reflection, not even criticism, reflection is heavily shut down when Arsenal fans say stuff, but he can't do that. And it really made me look at the squad differently. It made me look at the team differently, what I would hope to see in the next couple of years, where I feel like being on the left is his safe space in the beginning of his career, and it gives an opportunity for Saka to move somewhere else. and my brain's already doing pieces. I'm looking at where Odegaard may not be in the future because of these movements. He creates something for us that we get a real luxury of someone coming in with high hope, but low relatively expectation. There's no pressure and an opportunity to be something that nobody else is prepared for. And he will unlock stuff for us in the final couple of games of the season. The other thing I wanted to say, which was impacted by Zubimendi coming off, was Eze in the 8, for me, was great. He was better deeper. He was picking the ball up and he made about 2 or 3 passes that was released to Martinelli or released to Gyökeres, and he can do that there better. Him walking around the 10 zone, for me, is 2010's matter football. I don't want to see it. Like, I don't want him there. I want him closer to the action, getting on the ball and looking up and finding things. And I think that's also connected to where Max DOWMAN was and what that created him, his ability to be there, because now we had a better outlet on the wings. So I'm over the moon. As for him, but for us, we have an option finally in attack that makes everybody stand up. And I'm really reflective of our front 6. I'm not loving anybody at the moment. I'm not loving anybody at the moment. I'm watching and hoping, but when the ball goes up there, my brain can't sit there and relax and be like, I know what he's going to do, and this is going to result in X. There's no high probability of a positive outcome with any of our attackers, and that's not good.
Yeah, I think it kind of breaks the mold of, and this has been criticism from me labeled towards Arteta over the years as well, that he's very much behind the lack of development from the attackers, or I don't know, the lack of something that the attackers have. But then now look at how much he is maybe relying upon DOWMAN, speaking about in press conferences, coming back soon. And even when he's talking about him, you can sense that he's going to be used, and then he is used, and that's different. So I think he breaks that mold in that over the years we've been so good as well. So it's been hard to pick out what the real big problem is, aside from the attack, which has been glaring. But we still, after 180 million spent, face the same issues once again. Even though we all love Eze, that signing coming in and what he, did at Palace, we needed here. We all loved Gyökeres. Well, majority loved the idea of Gyökeres. 100 goals in 2 seasons. We need goals. He's coming in. Neither has worked to the extent we assumed it would, or even close to what we assumed it would. But DOWMAN just comes in and like you said, Marvyn, I hope the players around are looking as well. Because we're talking about levels and how he comes in and provides something completely different. The players should be looking around as well, thinking to themselves, shit, we've got to level up now. And I'm talking about the attack here, because the defensive unit, there doesn't need to be a leveling up. They are leveled up. They are the standard bearer, our defensive unit in European football, I think. Our midfield, I think there's work to be done. Maybe Eze in the 8, maybe that assists things, because I think the combinations, even though I like Zubi, I don't know if Zubi and Rice has worked as well as it could do with a better 10 in place, maybe. Because I see how Zubi plays with Pedri there, for example. And it could be Marino as the 8. It doesn't matter. As long as you have Zubi, Pedri in that Spain midfield, they're playing some silky football, regardless of Marino being there. So I still think there's some combinations we have to find. But DOWMAN he breaks the mold in every way, shape, or form for us. And going into a summer where win the league or don't win the league, we need to improve the attack again. I think now it's good to have that standard bearer of technical quality, ability to provide magic moments, because now, as much as he's only 16, that is what we're looking for on the pitch, in terms of let's protect him more. But we can only protect him if the man in front of him are doing better than what he's doing, or at least similar to what he's doing.
But can I ask you guys a question? Do you not think last night almost captured what Mikel Arteta's footballing philosophy has been about all season? And I don't just mean our game, but I mean the City game as well. So when he brought on Mosquera instead of Ben White, my first thought was, that tells me a lot about you, Mikel. I'm going to make the change that stops Iliman and Jai before it supports Bukayo Saka. That's how I read the sub. So, I was a bit frustrated about it, but, I've just got used to is how we're going to approach the season. But when you look at how the 2 games went, how did we win the game? ball into the box, comes off in Capie, Gyökeres there to pin the back of the net. Basically, I feel like Arteta's philosophy for a lot of this season has been, if we keep it tight at the back, we're really good defensively, keep a clean sheet, work our asses off,
We'll get
the ball will probably go in the back of the net once. It will probably find its way there. You then flip to City. How do they concede? From a set piece. Like the one thing, fun enough, we conceded against Leverkusen, but the one thing that everyone has said, oh, Arsenal are just set piece FC. It's been such a massive part of this season, and Arsenal have attacked them and probably defended them better than most teams. So despite City taking the lead, they quite quickly find themselves on the back foot to West Ham equaliser, and they spend the rest of the game with probably more flair on the pitch than us, more match-winning quality. Erling Haaland himself, with every reason to find the goal, and they still couldn't do it. So I think the reason I'm moving away, and have been for a few weeks now, moving away from criticising the attack, is because I will join that conversation again when I see someone else give me what I'm looking for. So if Liverpool do it, if City do it, Barcelona just got walked over at St. James's Park. It's so hard for me to ask for something that's not on the menu elsewhere. And I think that's where I am a little bit with it. I understand the frustrations. I think Saka could give a little bit more. Madueke's hit or miss. Martinelli, you don't know what you're going to get. But this feels like a league or football-wide problem, or certainly a league problem. So if we are just keeping clean sheets and we're just going and going and going, we're going to win more games than not. Now, that game against Everton, we could easily have drawn. I think 6 or 7 times out of 10, you win that. And I think Arteta's probably playing on those percentages. And he's probably thinking, even if we drew this game, City will draw another because they've got the same problems we've got. So, again, I think this weekend and last night sort of captured why Arteta's playing football the way he is. And I don't love it, but I understand it more than I ever have. Don't know what you guys think.
I think you're 100% right in your reflection about other teams and their attacking limitations. I think we just want to see good moments from our attackers that tell us that as an individual, in the right context, you will make it happen. What my greater fear is that knowing things like the Champions League, where the quality is just a different level, we're not seeing, like, I'll go to the Leverkusen game where Martinelli's through on goal. He takes an extra touch to go further to the left, hits the crossbar. And you're like, that can't happen in a semi-final, quarter-final. That's got to be the goal, right? And I think the moments that I'm seeing show me that there's either a lack of confidence and a lack of execution, right? I call it killers. If you look at our defense, and we talked about Nketiah in that tackle, we talk about Gabriel getting, the ball hitting his neck. They are killers for what they're doing. We don't have a version of that up front. And so if it doesn't work because the teams are tighter and there's a low block and nobody else is doing it, fine. But when you get that moment, if you're not executing them, then I feel I'm seeing what the problem is. It's a quality issue. And to be very clear, 4 years ago when it was Martinelli, Saka, Odegaard, Jesus on 15 goals each, and we were like, wow, we have 4 threats. We were all happy with everyone getting 15 goals then. But if our top goal scorers are getting 5s, 6s, and 7s in attack, that's a massive indicator of something not being right.
And it's such a and it's just, before you go, Jordan, I keep on saying this. I've never seen champions have such a glaring opportunity to improve the side next season. And I say champions, we're not champions yet, but I mean, I expect us to be.
We are.
But like, I've just never seen champions come at the back end, and if they do what they need to do to that area of the pitch, they're going to be even better. And I'll be glaring here, and because it is glaring, I just can't think of champions before that have had such a glaring. I don't know, maybe more. I'm thinking City defensively. Even then, though, they were so good in the attacking front that their defense didn't need to really excel in the old school sense, passion sense. But sorry, Jordan, go on.
No. I just wanted to go back to the kids because I want to give some flowers, right? And I do want to. I've got some comments on his performance and things I want to talk about him. And you guys know that I'm not comfortable with it because his age and everything. But we're here, right? So we're going to talk about him. We're chatting about him now. But before I get to that, I just wanted to address the barrage of messages that I've been getting over the last 12 hours, right, from people. Oh, what are you saying now? Oh, you were talking nonsense. Oh, if we didn't play him, we wouldn't have had that moment. Oh, you're talking nonsense as usual. People, and I'm going to try to be as polite, right? And as polite as possible when I say this. Please listen carefully, because I'm not going to say this again, right? This kid's got a future at Arsenal, and I can't keep repeating this every single time he plays. So let's be clear. The discussion, the point I've always made about Max DOWMAN was never about his ability. I've never ever said that he's not good enough to play for Arsenal Football Club. I've never said that. In fact, I said the opposite. I've acknowledged that he is good enough to play for Arsenal's first team. I've said that. I've acknowledged that. I'm in agreement with that. My issue with him playing for Arsenal is purely a moral one. It's purely morals. Now, you can disagree with that. That's fine. We have different morals. That's totally fine. But at least disagree with me, understanding what it is that I'm saying. So all the people messaging me overnight saying, what are you saying now? You talking nonsense. If you weren't going to... Big man, I never said he's not good enough to play for Arsenal Club. He is good enough. He's good enough. It was just about, for me personally, I don't think a 15 or 16-year-old boy should be playing for Arsenal Football Club, right? Someone messaged me saying, yeah, but look at the joy he brought you. When he scored, I celebrated. I was happy. I loved it. Guys, I loved it. But there's plenty of things I could tell a 15-year-old or 16-year-old boy to do that would make that person feel good. That is wrong. Let's not conflate what brings joy with what is right. Something can bring you joy and be good, but also wrong. That's where I am with it. Just because he's good enough, that doesn't mean that he should play. Some women are not going to make good mothers. Just because you can have kids doesn't mean you should have kids.
Oh, Jordan.
I'm just saying. People can...
That's one for your dad's podcast, Marv.
Yeah.
Yo. You know, it's literally Mother's Day today. It's literally Mother's Day. It's literally Mother's Day.
It's Mother's Day.
Like, you couldn't have picked a worse time to put out the worst analogy of all time.
He's just the 16-year-olds off. Now it's the mothers that's going to get onto him. No wonder.
He fully said, fuck the mothers on Mother's Day. Well done, Jordan. Appreciate it, man.
But my point
is... My mum watches this, by the way.
Hi, Mum.
Yeah. Great, Mum. They're good examples of women who should have had kids, right? But anyway, my point is, just because something brings you joy, that doesn't mean it's right. Why are you laughing, Bob? Why are you laughing, Bob?
Marvin's deep in what's going on.
It's just outrageous.
Listen, man. I have contract to protect. Wait.
What was that? So I didn't hear that.
Don't worry, we got post edit. Don't worry.
I'm with you in the morality argument.
Sorry, just let me land. Finish on this one. So I just
let him land.
Let me finish this. I might as well now. I'm in, James. I'm in. People can want him to play because they think he's good enough, right? That's not my argument. I've never said he's not good enough. It's just I don't think it's correct that there are certain things that 15-year-olds can do but shouldn't. This is the same for me. Just because he can, that doesn't mean that he should. So my inbox has gone crazy with people like, and I'm like, you don't understand what I'm saying. You can disagree with my point. That's fine. We can disagree on this one, but understand what it is I'm saying at least. Please.
The way you keep saying your inbox, like you're getting official Ofcom complaints.
James, I was out for dinner after the game. I checked my phone after dinner. I'm like, yo, even my brother is voice noting me. What are you saying now? What are you saying now? I'm like, I'll see you tomorrow and we'll do it tomorrow.
Jordan,
I just want to understand what
you were
I'm
out
saying.
for dinner during the game, weren't you?
No, I was not.
It was during. You're right.
I was at work and I watched the game at work and I went for dinner after work. I got points as well.
All right.
Sorry, Marvyn. Go on.
No, I was saying, look, I fully do think it's an ethical question when you talk about young players at 15, 16 playing in the men's game, there are more safeguarding things in place that didn't exist 20, 30 years ago. We've seen huge things happen across the game because there just wasn't safeguarding, right? And he still can't go into the men's changing room before and after the game. He has to operate separately. I think where my concern would be is if things went wrong. Imagine if he scored an own goal in the final minute, his mental health as a result of that is a genuine question, right? But I think when we talk about the actual isolation of the game, ignoring the culture around the game, it is very viable for him to be playing. The culture around it makes it potentially toxic and harmful for a person of that age to be exposed to so much, especially knowing how news, football cycles, and social media works. I think it's something definitely to pay attention to. We haven't had enough evidence. Like you look at Wayne Rooney at 16, he did that, what, 15, 17, was it 20 years ago by now? I'm pretty sure it's about that. There is no real direct evidence that exposing himself at 16 adversely negatively affected him going forward, other than the overall length of his career. And I think that's a question. How much football do you give Max DOWMAN so that he can continue playing at 31 at an appropriate level? Right? That's a question. Is some of the things that Wayne Rooney got himself into related to his overexposure at 16? There's a possible viable link to make. We just don't have a volume of data to say that the actual culture of football is a problem. So for now, I think it will always be protected because his value and Lamine Yamal's value in football is so immense that capitalism will protect it, right? But I think it's a question to hover, and I think it's a humanist question to hover around the issue and to observe. And what happens if it goes left? What protections are in place to safeguard him? At this moment, I don't think it will be enough if it goes left.
Just on the game, on the goal though, just bring back to the football. I don't know if it was Turkish or James mentioned the process of the goal. So to compliment him as an actual player, the intelligence, the intention, and the composure, I just think we can't underestimate that. The header, first of all, guys, he could have just, most players just head that up the field or off the field to kill the clock, right? That would be acceptable, right? Just run the clock, do what's ever going to kill the clock.
You once mentioned the legend of the game on this show, and you have a chance to mention him again in a better light this time around.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
You compared Havertz to him when he first signed.
I didn't compare him. I
don't know what you did, but you did say. Kaka, you remember the Kaka header that when that technique for that header was,
it's intentional because he's not thinking I'm heading this out to kill the clock. He's thinking I'm heading this to get to a position where I can dribble. Yeah. I'm setting myself up to dribble. That's the first thing I loved. The second thing I loved was once he's beaten the footwork is just beautiful, right? The guy's like on the floor. Watch the goal again. The guy's on the floor and he sprawls out. He fully sprawls out like, oh man, you've killed me. It's done. It's hilarious. And then the third thing he does is rather than, and Martinelli was a very good comparison, rather than just dribble all the way to the goal, he probably gets caught. He kicks the ball 15 yards ahead of him because he knows. Yeah. He knows I can sprint faster chasing the ball than dribbling the ball. All of that is intelligence, it's intention, and it's composure of the highest order. It's a brilliant goal, not just because it's of what it meant. And I thought people were comparing him to like, oh, is this how Lamine Yamal? The better comparison is Wayne Rooney because he's the player that made his name in what fixture?
Yeah.
At what age? Right, this could be the new Wayne Rooney for me, and I think going back to Turkish's point about this goal being a significant goal in winning the league for us. Again, that could be our Tony Adams goal. Again, who was that against?
The stars are aligning.
Do you know what I mean?
Who scored the equaliser for West Ham?
That was my next point.
Arsenal legend.
Everything is
Mavropanos.
And James, am I right in saying that Mavropanos scored the goal against us last year that killed us?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Okay.
2-0.
It's also Arsene Wenger's last debut as well, Mavropanos for Arsenal.
Oh, is it?
He's done it again.
Narrative City. Narrative City, baby.
Again. You know, you rightly, brilliantly broke down everything about that DOWMAN goal. And Turkish also mentioned him taking it with his right foot. That is scary good what he did in that position because without trying to overanalyze it, but let's give it a go. I think because he's left-footed, I think what allows him to pull that off, because even on rewatch 200 times, I can't figure out how he found the space to chop in the way he did. Because he's left-footed, his right foot should technically almost just be pushing him along till he can take it with his left and either chop inside, drop a shoulder. But we noticed this in pre-season. Do you remember, Turkish, when he glided past Joe Linton, it was nothing.
Yep.
Okay. I'm sure there are other players, and I'm not saying he's going to get to this level. But the reason for me, Lionel Messi is the greatest I've ever seen.
Whoa. We can't put Messi and Darwin in the same thing. They'll cook you. They cooked me.
Let me just say it. Because you know what? Fuck it. We're winning it all.
There goes the YouTube monetization right there.
The reason for me Messi's the greatest of all time is because I couldn't compute how he got past players. I was like, how's he done this? He hasn't chopped, and yeah, sometimes he would. He didn't throw in step overs. He wasn't always sending man flying. He would just go past them like they weren't there. Now, there are other players, of course, who've had a talent like it, Eden Hazard or whatever, but it's such a rare quality. And when I say rare, I mean not a handful of players in the world can do it. I'm saying you see it once every, talking years here. He took it with his right foot when no one would have ever expected him to go with his right. And then he takes a second touch with his right foot to then release it in front of him. And without him breaking stride, he's gone in a completely different direction. And he's got the defender going the complete other way. And I don't, you go on a football pitch looking to replicate what the pros do. And on some shitty level, you can more often than not do it. You can't replicate that. You cannot try and create what he just did, because I just think I want to say you have it or you don't, but
No,
one,
it's
go on,
true.
sorry.
You have it or you don't.
Yeah.
For me, that second touch he took might be the most telling of the lot. I won't say most important, but the most telling, because if you go back and watch his second touch after he heads it down, his second touch, if it's Saka, if it's Noni, if it's Martinelli, the space is there. They hit it into that space and they go for it and probably get closed down, fouled, cut across, barged off, whatever. We probably win a free kick. DOWMAN's second touch is obviously, I've seen him in the corner of my eye there. So let me take it in straight away, because he'll be off balance and out of the game. And his second touch might be the best of the lot, most telling of the lot in terms of what we're dealing with here, in terms of the level of quality in comparison to the rest of the lads that he has around him. Now, that's not me trying to shit on them, because they've got us this far, and by hook or by crook, whether we like the football or not, they've played a big part. We're only the third team in Europe to score 100 goals this year, and the stats so on. There's many more. But those little moments for me tell a lot about a football player. And you're not comparing him to Messi by bringing him up.
No, of course not.
It's well, I mean, your one was a bit different, Jordan.
When I did it, you know what I mean?
Your one was a bit.
You compared Kai Havertz to Kaká, my friend.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but also, okay, don't take it from me. Take it from John Terry, who has said he's not seen a player, he's not seen someone go past players like that since Lionel Messi. Now, that's not my words. I'm regurgitating his. Look, Eden Hazard had. Okay, fine. Eden Hazard had that quality where he could just kind of maraud through players. What I'm talking about is it's like a God-given talent to be able to carry the ball in a way where the ball, it's like it's a part of you and it moves with you. You're more worried about getting past the defender than you are carrying the ball with you, because so naturally it's just there. Look, you know what? If people don't get it, then I haven't explained it, and there's not really much more I can say. But you know, and I don't like to do the comparison thing, but when I look at other wingers in our squad who I love to bits and they're good at taking players on, you can see on the eye their work they're having to do to get past them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's not a bad thing, because that is 99.99999% of footballers, even the top ones in the world. But there's just that small percentage who do it like they're not there. And we saw it in pre-season. and we've seen it a few times since, and it's really, really, really special. And you know what? He's not short. He's not small. He's already 6 foot. He already looks like he can deal with the physicality to a degree. That right-footed touch you mentioned, Turkish, he did it to Dewsbury Hall earlier in the game. Do you remember when he was central midfield, Dewsbury Hall came, and he just took it with his right, because no one's expecting him to do that, but he can do it because he effortlessly just glides with both. I mean,
can I just stand out on the idea that the universe has no right to give it to us, right? But I think we deserve a player to come from 16 Hale End and be at the very, very top of the world stage. Like, I put Saka really, really highly, but he's a completely different footballer to Saka. And I think we've had so many good players come through who we believed had promise and that were going to become more, and it hasn't worked out, right? I even now I look at Miles Lewis-Skelly. A year ago, I would have fought anybody I would have fisticuffed anyone who tried to tell me that he isn't going to be the best left back in the history of whatever, right? And I just think it would be great to have one player that comes in, looks good from the beginning, you see it, and it happens to a height of a Yamin Lamau or even Elise or even a Messi, whoever, right? Just their own career in their own way, top level. They dominate for England. They play consistently, and they have a good, successful run of Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues. Just like I just missed that story in our arc from our own players that we develop.
Sorry, Jordan. I know you wanted to say so. No, go, because you wanted to say something when James said something.
No, I was just going to mention the fans off the back of that goal. Because again, we spoke after the Brighton game about how beautiful it was seeing the Arsenal fans stay hanging around the Amex because they kind of knew. I think the news came through that City had drew 2-2, and the fans deserved that joy. The same thing was true here. The reaction to that Max DOWMAN goal and just seeing the fans. Sky have got lots of clips up on their website of after the game. And the stadium, when you guys were there, the stadium was pretty much full for a good half an hour after the final whistle.
Soak it in, man. It doesn't.
I just loved seeing the fans having that much joy, because I think that the title's done. I think we've won the league. I think we're incoming champions now, and I think those fans and us fans, it's our time. We deserve this. So Marvyn says we deserve, a young king on the rise to just bring us the joy that hopefully DOWMAN will bring us. But in terms of the title, we deserve this. I was watching the fans just happy. We've been a banter team for a long time. With the last 3 or 4 years, it's been hard. Second, bottle jobs. This is our time. A couple of years ago, it felt like we were close, but City were just at the end of their cycle and it was their last title. This feels like our time now. We deserve this.
Do you reflect on the 3 failed attempts to win the Premier League? Do you reflect on them differently now that you're seeing what it actually takes to have in the locker to win a title? Because our first attempts where we kind of came out of nowhere, we had a good 11.
Yeah, I think it's 2, Marvyn. I think it's 2. I don't count the first one. I think it's 2, personally.
The fans were amazing all game, by the way. Like the fans were amazing all game. Like they really, really. Did you feel the same, Marvyn? Like they really got behind the team in that second half. They knew that they just needed carrying over the line. I think everyone's kind of just accepted what the football is, or I mean, with criticism. But I think even everyone here is just like, yeah, I mean, that's what we're going to do, right? And I thought the fans were, they were chanting, they were singing, they were willing them over the line. It was good to see. What did you make of it, Marvyn?
No, I thought the atmosphere was incredible. I think people, because they've had to defend Arsenal's football from major outlets for the last couple of weeks, it's made us stand behind it in a way that maybe we wouldn't historically or before. And I think that's actually been a really good thing. I think sometimes intense criticism brings us closer together, and I think that's what it's done. I just don't want to hear our own fans being hyper negative, being reflective, analytical, talking about all that's healthy, but I think they're like the compound statements of like Arteta and like this player's got to be gone, or like I want him out of my club, like that energy. And this moment, I'm muting anyone.
Yeah, I get you.
Just before we move on to I think you're going to move on to the Bayer Leverkusen game.
Can I just ask one question?
Go on.
On DOWMAN, what's his position? In 5 years, where do you think DOWMAN fits best? Because obviously we've got a hella left-footed players, similar profiles across that 10/right wing position. Because I said last week, DOWMAN probably central in my eyes in the future. Jordan saying right.
At left, I think left.
Left?
Yeah. I'd put him on the left. I think next season I would, we're stacked on the right as it is, so there's Ram there anyway. You've just given your contract, your biggest contract to your right winger, so he ain't gonna get moved. None of what Madueke was 60 million. He ain't getting sold anytime soon. And then you got Nwaneri, who I'm not sure will be there next year, but let's say he is. Then there's him as well. I think A, he should be on the left, and I think B, he will be on the left in the going forward. But I wouldn't be mad at him being in the 10 role either.
Look, this year is about getting it done, but from next season there is too much flair to not give me some proper. I want Nwaneri false 9, Eze off the left, DOWMAN off the right, drifting inside, Saka central pulling wide. But give me some flair because the players are there now. I think we actually went through a weird year, like few years, where we were starved of players like that. You know, we sort of, the Ozil era was ending. Cazorla had gone, Rosicky had gone. We'd redeveloped, and we had a Wobie, it was okay. But you've got these flair players now. I get it. Just ugly it to the final, to the final day, get it done. I hear it. But from next season, why can't we have a front three of DOWMAN, Nwaneri, Eze, Trossard, Saka, Havertz? Like, funny enough, what we had 2 years ago. But like, why can't we rotate between those players? Why can't we free up Zubimendi a little bit more? Who actually I thought played it. I like the way he was getting forward yesterday. I just think the Premier League will evolve again. I don't think a lot of managers and fans are going to stand for the product that has been on show a lot of this season. So more technicians will be sort of at the forefront, and it will evolve. And we need to be ready. And we have all these players. So I think DOWMAN could be a false 9, right winger, but wherever he plays, you got to give him freedom. You can't give him touchline shifts and just say, here you go, just keep running it fullback. This is someone who needs to be given the freedom of the pitch to play the game how he sees fit.
That's why with what we got, I think the biggest opportunity before Marv goes is going to be central for him. I think when you look at Odegaard's trajectory over the last couple of years, Eze hasn't slotted into the 10 role as well as we would have liked. We have a potential to do 4-2-3-1, and Rice and Zubi provide the protection for DOWMAN as 10. And I think him showing he's capable of going on his right foot just aids that argument even more. I think putting him left wing takes away how magic his left foot is in the modern game. And I think when I look at the market, Barcola and Alvarez would be perfect signings for this team, not only for what we're missing now, but for a DOWMAN sort of a 10-2, for a Saka who, all right, the injuries might have, caught up to him a little bit, and the game time might have caught up. Maybe he hasn't got that burst as much as he used to. Bringing in some fierce attacking quality on the other end, takes attention away from that end a bit more. And then, I just see him centrally in my eyes, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's on the right. I don't see him on the left, Marv.
I think right will be his home because it's the safest place to put him while he's still developing and figuring it out. So when you say 5 years, though, I think he'll be most impactful in the 10, but he would have to earn that because I think Saka's natural progression, because of how he actually plays and how he's been double teamed because he's so efficient on the right, is to find a way for him to play in the middle and hold different positions and do less of the tracking back actually. And be more effective. I think Saka can play long shot. I think he can do curls. He can go in and out. He can move all over the pitch and be effective. He can be physical if you need him to. I think his true richness is in the middle. And I think what DOWMAN can do is more impactful on the right. And the only difference will be is can you trust Mac DOWMAN in the middle to do some of the ugly stuff at times when we need it. So, I think that we have a lot of mixed personnel. But I think if we talk about the 5-year gap, I think half this team won't exist in the 5 years' time. I just don't think they're effective enough.
Just want to say we had some fun with our black line in defense a couple of pods ago, right? we had a black line behind Havertz yesterday as well. Just want to say that as well. Just want
to. When you look at Eze, Madueke, and Saka, you feel like there's going to be a freedom of football that just has something to unlock whatever's in front of them. I think he just put them in the wrong order, like in the wrong positions. That really is what affected it. But that England photo of them three at training camp makes everybody feel like, wow, that's actually a sick forward line.
For real. I just wanted to, before we move on to Leverkusen, just quickly mention the City result because I think that is within context.
Thank you. They're not getting away with it.
No, they're
I
not.
know this isn't the big six, but we got to talk about it.
Yeah. By the way, yeah, we're all tuning in to that one on Monday.
Oh my! Jordan? Have you seen Skullduggery's edit from the midweek show?
No, I missed it this week.
That might be his greatest work.
It might be, yeah.
That
And
is.
Grizz predicted City to smoke West Ham as well, I think.
I want to say I've got a lot of money. I won't say how much. I've got quite a lot of money on West Ham drawing with City and Chelsea beating City. I think I said on the last pod, I'm adamant City weren't gonna beat West Ham, and I think they lose to Chelsea. And we're almost done. They're almost broken, guys. Don't blink, don't flinch, stand firm.
Almost broken. I knew they were broken. I'm vexed that we're not winning it at Etihad.
Yeah,
This proves that we should have, because if we turned around one of Forest,
Well, can we still do that?
No, we can't. It's too. Even if City lose to Chelsea and we beat Bournemouth, we can't do it. We've lost too many points in that Forest, Liverpool, Man United, Brentford, Wolves period. Just one of those turned around, we would have won we could have had the potential chance to win the league at Etihad.
So you guys think it's done?
It's done.
Yeah, it's done.
Done at Brighton.
I'm one hand. That's all right.
Marvyn's like, is he?
Yeah, I'm one hand. That's it.
Look, I just know the league too well, and I think there's almost a personality of stopping Arsenal is as fun as playing Arsenal, and because that's an underlying personality trait. Even the Brighton manager's comments afterwards, he retracted and apologized for, but like how annoyed he is that he couldn't have that impact in our story. I just feel like we have to be on our game. If we're not firing up front and we know what the opposition is, I mean, the referees are definitely not going to be our friends. This is not Manchester United in 2005, right? So we know what this could be. I'm just like, I like it to be closer. I think the Carling Cup will be Carabao Cup. I always call it Carling Cup. The Carabao Cup will be a massive marker because I think psychologically it will say a lot about us, even if it's penalties. I think the game against Man City, those two things, even if we draw, I think if we come out of a draw and the Carabao Cup being won, I think that's then I'm there. And how little of that is related to the actual Premier League, but I think those two things will solidify us.
So I actually, Marvyn, I've pushed back a little bit on this idea that the Carabao Cup holds so much weight, and it's only because at the time when we got to the final, we had a similar lead, basically 6 points, and the way I looked at it was, if Arsenal are going to let a one-off game at Wembley basically get too much in their minds after 31 games worth of work. I mean, I don't know what I'm trying to say other than it would really bother me. Let's say we lose that final. You can lose on a one-off to City. Like, I don't really think it should define us too much. But you're right. Maybe mentally we get in our heads a little bit. But then, then they closed the gap and then it started to be 2 points. I thought, okay, maybe this final could be the mental boost we need. But guys, we don't kick a ball in the Premier League for a month. That weekend was so huge because City have to sit on that now till the 11th of April. It's ages away. We've got Champions League to deal with. Then we've got the cup final. And then we've got to book a place in the FA Cup semi-final before we play at home to Bournemouth and they go to Chelsea. So it feels really daunting, I think, from that perspective, that they can't just kind of bounce back and do anything about it. So the cup final for me, I just see it as I want trophies. I really want trophies.
Where I think the value is, right, is that Arsenal have always struggled in the League Cup. I don't know what it is. Last time we won, it was at 92. What is that right? 1993. That's an insane amount of time. It's 23 years, well, more than 33 years since that happened, right? And then I think winning against the team that you're closest to is another psychological, just like we can do it. And I think we need some sort of validation to everything that's gone on in the last 3 years. If we had won FA Cup, a year ago, or a little European Trophy Cup, we would have been a lot more optimistic about our ability to get over the line. But I think there's an echo that says we have a problem there. And I think just doing it solidifies our approach to the end of the season. Then the road to quadruple, which is insane to say, it's insane to say with all the caveats that we've made in the show today, becomes clearer. Like the energy, the momentum to be able to be, we've done it once, we're in a final again, we know exactly who we need to be. And if a personnel shifts, like Saka gets injured, it's not the end of the world. Like that stuff, that mentality comes from that first one. So I think I need it for me to nod as viscerally as Turkish and Jordan has.
No, man, I think it's done in terms of the league, because I think I put it in our WhatsApp group. The goal that came from Gyökeres, when it came, I think I put in the group, that's a huge blow for City, because City probably, or City fans, or even the players, they'll be watching that game thinking
100% they were.
It's going to be a draw.
You see Haaland walking in, watching the game.
Of course. And then we do that, and then the kind of, what they call it, battery pack in our pack of the DOWMAN goal, and the energy that club's going to be bouncing Monday morning. Absolutely bouncing. And then they've got to go out to a West Ham team fighting for their lives to win, just to stay 7 points behind us. It was a massive blow. I think they're done. And there's no way of psychologically measuring how much that 2-0 win impacted their game. Look, if we draw that game, do they then beat West Ham? Well, we don't know. But I think it's killed them. I think it's really killed them. And I felt that the Brighton was the significant one. I think the Brighton was the game where I said, we're going to win the league. And I looked at their next two games, our next two games. They're not getting 6 points. They won't get 6 points because they've drawn the first of the two. I think we will get 6 points. I think the lead extends. I think the lead only gets bigger from here on in if we stay focused. And so I think they're psychologically like, okay, this is beyond us. Final point on the game itself as well. I'm really glad we won the game, and we haven't mentioned the penalty we should have had. Because in years gone by, we would have had an incident like that, and we'd be talking, half this pod would have been talking about, it finished 0-0, we should have the penalty. I like the fact that we didn't get the penalty that we earned, right? But we just won the game. The referee, we took it out of the referee's hands. We said, you're not going to do us over. We're going to find a way to win this game, despite the penalty incident, because it was a penalty.
The referee was poor, by the way. The referee was
shocking. Poor. He was absolutely shit. Sorry, he was.
But the fact that we're 120 minutes in, and we're mentioning it now, I think it's a good thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
he was terrible. How did it look on TV? You know the Madueke body check when he got around. I think.
Oh yeah.
That looked like a stonewall foul for me. And he's in on goal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
man, the guy was fucking awful.
He ended up no yellow cards, right? So I feel like this is where I feel the referee question does need to be investigated in an intelligent way. I think there's almost this belief that no referees have a form of agenda, a view of how they want the game to go. Like, you don't just get through a game like that and not have any yellow cards. There was plenty of opportunity to provide some. There was persistent foulings, even from Beto at one point was persistently fouling Saliba. And he's just like, you've chosen to try and create this type of game, and at the cost of it, you have not given us a penalty. There's loads of 50-50 challenges that were handed to Everton. And for me, I just think the introduction of international referees would save the Premier League 100%. The inconsistency is disgraceful.
That's interesting. I didn't see it that way. I didn't think referee had as bad a game as you guys think, but
just a general thing now, though, isn't it? I mean, you can pick out every single game in every single game week, referees being wrong and strong, and then the governing body, cowering behind, what they cower behind for the rest of the week. Like, it's just a pattern over the last few years. I'm not against the European body idea in terms of, the referees coming in without a common link to or common thread to any of the English clubs. But it's a subject we'll always talk about, because I think they like that we talk about it, hence why they pay referees now to come on Sky Sports, and there's segments called Ref Watch. Do they get those segments without these silly decisions? No. How much does that segment make them? Probably a lot, clips-wise, because people want to hear how much shit these referees are talking. So it's, the world of business, man, is fucked. But we moved. Leverkusen, we are back Champions League, and we didn't get the job done in leg 1. But we should get the job done in leg 2. Am I wrong for being a bit nervy about this one? I'm
stressed. No. I'm stressed about it. Yeah. But I just don't want to think about it till the day. But no, I'm stressed about it.
I agree. I'm not stressed.
Marv's calm. He looks like he's just thinking, nah, Leverkusen, we're good.
No, I think we're good. What I loved about Leverkusen is that they were just difficult to play against, and they were fearless in going at us. And I do love that about the Champions League. It forces you into a different realm. You can't be lazy. I think we just have enough tools in a way that, and we're at home. And I rate them. I'm actually more worried about Bodo Klimt than I am.
Don't be thinking too far ahead, bro.
Listen, it's everyone. Whenever you're on the side of a draw where there's no big legacy clubs on it, right?
Yeah.
People assume that it's easy. Those types of teams have to do nothing but sit back and pounce on us. They don't have to play us at all. We can play at Real Madrid and it'll be an incredible game. It'll be tough, but we're going to play each other. And it will be whoever's the best on the day will win. When you're playing these types of teams, their fans are not expecting anything other than nicking a win. So it's really going to be hard. But I think at home will be all right. I think just the unknown quantity of whoever could be next could be the bigger question, and the assumption that it's going to be easy. Yeah.
And Bodo done their job in terms of who we could potentially play. So you're right, keeping one eye on them. Jordan, Leverkusen, you worried, nervous? Just get the job done?
A little bit. I mean, it's a game, as Marvyn said, we've got the tools to win this game. We're you know, the momentum is really good. We're at home. And yeah, I agree with Marvin's point that the pressure of coming on the easier side of the draw brings the pressure of itself, because you're expected now to beat everybody up until the semi-final. But I'd rather be on this side than the other side. Having said that, this sort of game that if it stays 0-0 or 1-1 after 60 minutes, it could get a little bit, okay, what's happening here? I think we just got to assert ourselves. Our attacking players have got to do their job. It's a game we should win. If we go out in this stage, that's really bad. I know we'll lean on, but the league's still there. We've still got a final to look forward to. You can't get knocked out in the round of 16 to Leverkusen in the champion. That just can't happen. That can't happen. That will undo a lot of good work, I think, that we've done 2 or 3 years in Europe. That just can't happen. So I think we'll be fine, but I'd be a lie if I said that I'm confident we're going to whack them 3-0, because I'm not.
I'm going to ask an unfair question, but fuck it. We have a chance to win multiple trophies this year. You can win one game next week, Leverkusen or Carabao Cup final.
Ooh. No, final.
Final.
Yeah, if I can guarantee one, it's the final.
Okay. Maybe it's a silly question then.
No, I don't think it is a silly question. I think there's some people that would be like, Champions League has been a hoodoo. Like, as an Arsenal fan, one of the biggest dismisses that we get is not having a Champions League in our repertoire. And it means that Liverpool and Chelsea fans talk to us crazy when Liverpool fans can, but Chelsea fans should not be able to. This goes a long way.
Even Spurs fans.
Yeah. Like, this goes a long, even West Ham fans try to talk to us like when they won their little thing. And I think this goes a long way to silencing a lot of stuff, but I'm here for actual trophies, right? Rather than opportunities. If we're talking about guarantee and then we throw a dice with Leverkusen, I pick the trophy, but it's going to be a great footballing week.
Yeah, it's a huge week. It's a really huge week. I'm nervous about Leverkusen. Should we get predictions in?
Yeah, I think so. Because there's no lineup talk. I play the strongest lineup. We need to get the job done.
Well, what is that now? I don't know if that's Trossard. All right, okay. Quick show of hands. Havertz or Gyökeres? Havertz. Hands up for Havertz.
Havertz or Gyökeres? Leverkusen.
I don't see them as like for like. Unfortunately, which is absurd. I don't like Havertz as a 9. I like him playing in midfield. For me, I love that all day. So
I'd probably agree and play Havertz, Gyökeres in that you know what he did when he first came back. So I'd start Havertz, but not up top. I'd put Havertz and Gyökeres 10 and 9.
I probably would stick with Havertz because I like Gyökeres off the bench.
Yeah,
more tired legs.
Don't really care.
Okay. DOWMAN to start.
No.
Fair enough. I would.
I wouldn't be completely against it, but yeah. Well, I get. Oh yeah.
Mosquera or White?
Why?
I think Timber will be back though. He's a machine. I can't.
It looked like a groin thing, so I think they might save him for the final.
I think Mosquera, but I would bring White on. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad that we got to this with Ben White, almost forgetting that he can defend as well. Nkapie Calafiori, that's a big one, you know.
I think, and I didn't think I'd ever say this, I think Nkapie might have edged him out, you know. I'm not always on Nkapie yet.
Yeah. Calafiori in the final, the Carabao Cup final, Calafiori. 100%.
Yes, yeah. Yeah,
I see him marauding and just
Yeah.
got moving in ways
I
that really
agree with
helps us in a way that Hincapie.
I agree with that.
I'm opposite.
That's so interesting. I see it the opposite.
Yeah.
I want Hincapie's no nonsense. Thing with Calafiori, I love him, but he's on bullshit the whole time. Do you know what I mean? He's just on like, he's just sort of, yeah, whatever. You know, I've got my long hair. I'm going to block it with a scorpion kick. I'm just going to do what I want. And he's amazing to watch. But Hincapie feels a little bit more reliable. But against Leverkusen, I need Calafiori's sort of devil may care. You know, let me just play the game how I feel it. Let me go right wing because I fancy it. I kind of want that for Leverkusen. I love you, Calafiori, by the way.
It's 2-2, so half the panel split one way, half is split up.
Yeah.
But in terms of even the game we've just watched, both Calafiori and Hincapie, in my opinion, both players deserve mentions off the back of that win against Everton. Like they both deserve mentions throughout this season. Calafiori locked it down early. Hincapie comes in, rocky ground maybe at the beginning, but now everyone's looking at him as the starting left back. Then Calafiori starts one of the best blocks ever seen in an Arsenal shirt. Then Hincapie comes on and it's just back to back, like band for band, them two are going. So I'll do what James said in terms of I need that unpredictability against Leverkusen, and I need a bit more predictability but rawness in the final. So I'd go that way. That's it, really, lineup wise, isn't it? Let's do predictions. Let me bring the prediction table up because there's been some change points wise because Jordan got a correct score. He predicted 2-0 against Everton. And both James and Josh predicted Martinelli as star man. So they picked up 2 points each on top of the point for the win for Martinelli's assist. Martinelli got an assist for that Dowman goal, by the way, people. So
great assist.
I'm back in the race. Back in the race.
Through on goal. Marvin, just a heads up. So what we do in order, I'll predict, James will predict, then I'll go over to you as the guest, and then Jordan, we just predict the scoreline against Leverkusen, and then star man attackers, where everyone gets points for scoring goals, assists, but then defenders get points for clean sheets too, like Raya. So you just determine who you want to pick on the balance of play there. But I'll kick off the predictions and say Arsenal, 3-1 Arsenal. I'm just going to go with my normal 3-1. And I'm going to go with Havertz. No. I'm going to go with Martinelli star man. Yeah, I'm going to go with Martinelli star man, 3-1 win. James.
Damn. I'm going to go 1-1. We'll go through on penalties. And I'll go Kai Havertz.
Havertz, 1-1. Marv?
I'm going 2-1 Arsenal, and Rice is a star man.
Rice star man. What kind of a 2-1? 2-0 up or 1-1 89th minute and we score a late winner?
No, I think we go 2-0 up. They drag it back. We hold on. But I think Rice is the clear difference in defending. And I actually think he'll get a goal. He's due one of those.
Yeah, and he takes corners. He's got me quite a few points this season. So 2-1 and Rice. Jordan?
That's what I was going to go. I was going to go 2-1 Rice as well. I'm going to go then. I'm going to go 2-0. And let's go Eze.
Eze. Okay, cool. All pick different predictions, all pick different players for player star man of the week. That's how the table's looking. For audio listeners, I'm on 57 points. James is on 52. The guest is on 49, and Jordan's now on 42 points. So 15 separating top from bottom. Big up Proton VPN. If you need a VPN, show them some love. QR code is on the screen now. Obviously, you know about Proton, people. If you don't know, get to know. You need a VPN, not just for privacy, data, security. You can open up the World Wide Web, Netflix, Apple, whatever you lot watch on the internet, Amazon and all of that stuff. If you set your location to a different area in the world, then you open up what's in that area. So, don't tell them I told you that. If anyone comes knocking on your door asking how the hell you're watching this TV, don't say my name. Don't say my channel.
Mind your business.
Trust me. Tell them Jordan told you. Jarrett Bryan, and his channel is Coolest Disabled. And the link is in the description below. But let's end with comments of the day. I had to delete a couple of my comments of the day because it was on Jordan and the Max Dowman, and after that speech earlier from Jordan, I thought, let me delete these two, man.
Yeah. Go on, Jordan. You've been.
I've only got two. I didn't have time to go for all of them. Just got a James definitely left the pod to receive his weekly Ocado shop last week.
I didn't see that. That's Ocado.
That killed me.
That is so good. Oh,
It's probably true as well.
spot on.
Jordan looking like the black version of Egghead from Marvel Comics. Now I don't watch Marvel, so I don't know if that's accurate or not. But it's like what?
Egghead.
Is that a diss or a compliment? I don't know, but that made me chuckle. Yeah,
I don't know if it's a compliment. I've got one from Hassan here saying watching Elise, Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, Yamar, Rafinha, and Vinny, and then watching Saka, Martinelli is a humbling moment. And I understand why that comment was put in, but now seeing DOWMAN and seeing what might be around the corner in terms of the next stage of attackers, the next level of attackers at Arsenal, I think, yeah, just thinking about it, we're winning the league this year, maybe another trophy with it, and we've got one of the best 16-year-olds in world football. Right? We're in a great place now. We should be in a great place in 5 years, 10 years. I turned around to Matisse yesterday. I said, the next 10 years is going to be long for you, man, because, yeah, I'm confident about it. But let's get year one out of the way. That was it. Actually, I had one more. Yeah, that was it. Jordan is that student in class who reminds the teacher about the homework, even if there is.
I'm really not. I never did my homework.
I saw that.
I never did my homework.
I've got poor Jordan, man. I got this from Galaxy Guy. Says I pulled a Jordan last night. Just assumed the game was on at 8 p.m. and had to watch the highlights. I'm disappointed in myself, not because I missed the game, but because I'm more like Jordan now than any man should ever be.
Why not embrace it?
That was a
Embrace
good
it,
one.
bro.
That was a good
Embrace
one.
it.
That was
Poetry.
Just
That
embrace
was
it.
funny. People, we're gonna wrap it up here though. Before we wrap it up here, big up the community. Love for the love
Cannons to the left of them, cannons to the right of them. That still kill me. I'm telling
Soon
you,
come, man. Soon
That is-
come. Trust me.
we gotta get that in the edit. We gotta get that still
We
kills
do.
me.
We do.
Guys, I just refreshed Twitter and it's not a comment, but someone tweeted, Thomas Tuchel is a real fixture dilemma coming up. England versus Costa Rica clashes with Max DOWMAN's geography GCSE.
What's he gonna do?
Mad.
Oh, also, big up all the mums today. You mentioned Mother's Day. Big up all the mums.
Yes, you ain't saving yourself, Jordan.
Yeah, it's done. It's done,
Big up
Jordan.
the mums, though. Big up the mums. All right, cool. Listen, Call Us Disabled. That's Jordan's channel. Gooniverse. That's James's channel. And obviously,
He tried to sneak in a 96th minute equaliser there. He tried just by the way, big up to the mums. We saw what you did at half
Did a
time.
great job. Mum did a great job. Big you all up. Big you all up, man. We love you.
Outrageous.
it's true. Come on. But then this podcast wouldn't be around with no mums, mate. So you get me. Loose cannons. Dedicated to all the mums out there in the world. Big up you. Hopefully you're safe, sound, and hopefully you have a great day. But make sure if you're having a great day or not, mums, go show Marvyn Harrison some love. His YouTube channel is in the description.
Best guest so far, man. Best guest
It's been
so
a
far.
pleasure to work with Marvyn. Pleasure,
Thank
bro.
you, man.
Pleasure.
Mate,
Come on.
class, Marvin.
Thank you all.
Really class.
Yeah,
Love, bro.
I think the comments will like you for sure. So it won't be the last time we work together. Make sure you show Marvyn some love, people, because if you don't show him some love when we shout him next time, he's going to be like, that loose cannons did fuck all for me. make sure you do something for him, people. Marv, love for the love, my bro.
Thank you.
We'll talk again soon. James, Jordan, we'll back again later on this week, people. After Leverkusen, see us there. How? By subscribing with the notification bell on, people. Love for the love. We're out. Peace.